Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, and thanks for showing up. It wasn't that long ago that we deemed cable as the villain, the evil empire. Of course, cable as a corporation was terrible enough, but what we really hated was their customer service. And don't even get me started on the cable guys. We had to make an appointment, make sure that we were home, but were they ever on time? We all complained. Why am I paying $80 a month for 1,000 channels when I only watch like 4? And so we rose up, we cut the cord. And what did we do with our newfound freedom? Well, over the next several years, we subscribed to like a dozen different streaming services, like the idiots they knew we were. Think about it. We left cable because it was too expensive. Now we're out here paying for Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max. Sorry, it's just Max now. I guess HBO had too many syllables. Apple TV, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Prime Video.
2 hours later.
And something called BritBox. I don't even know what that is. I'm guessing BBC is better anyways. No, not that BBC, ladies. It turns out we didn't cut the cord. We just frayed it into a bunch of tiny subscription fees. Now most of these streaming services don't even let you password share. And they keep raising their prices to enhance the viewing experience. No, you're not. You're increasing your rates because you know you have us by the proverbial balls. Now we're paying the same, if not more, than we ever were for cable. The irony is I still can't find anything to watch. So yeah, we cut the cord. But now it's around our necks. In some rather sad news, Jo-Ann Fabrics is closing all of its stores. And Hooters is filing for bankruptcy. So you might want to call your Aunt Deb and Uncle Ron. See if they're doing okay. If you're wondering why Hooters is broke, maybe it's because they have better looking women at Jo-Ann's.
Hi, my name is Ree and I'm a Jo-Ann Fabrics employee from one of the 800 plus stores that's closing.
It's never a good look for either establishment when there's literally more fabric on a Hooters waitress than there is on the shelves at Jo-Ann's. At least those women had Hooters. The last time I went to Hooters, I think they misunderstood me when I said I wanted all flats.
Good one.
There is some good news for my fellow Floridians, however. The original Hooters that opened in 1983 in Clearwater, Florida, it's keeping its doors open.
Thank God.
Let's end today's monologue with a PSA of sorts. Growing older means you start to lose more and more of your loved ones. But it also means you lose more and more of the celebrities that you grew up with. One of those celebrities passed away this week, Gene Hackman. And although Gene retired from acting 20 years ago, he's always seemed to stay in the background of my memories. He was one of those types of actors that as soon as he came on screen, you felt a sense of comfort and command. He was effortlessly great, to the point that both Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman say that he was the best actor that they ever worked with. I grew up watching Hackman in movies like Crimson Tide, Behind Enemy Lines, The Replacements.
Coach McGinty, what will Washington need to get back into this ball game?
Heart.
I'm sorry?
You gotta have heart.
Can you elaborate on that?
Miles and miles of heart.
This week it was Gene Hackman. Next week it could be somebody that we know and love personally. So let's take a moment and celebrate his life and career, but also reach out to those loved ones that are still here.
Message.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. We've got a great show lined up for you. We've got the movie preview game, the movie review, the live reading of The Witcher, and so much more. We testing the game.
I'm in the chat, and please, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. You've been holding back on me. I'm going up like Hakeem. Funko Pop, shout out. Come on, that's unfiltered. The truth about oysters. Give it to him. So I did that. Yup, I did. R&B, baby. He delivered. Get your popcorn ready. Cheer! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. Let's go. No BS, OBS, camera zoomed in, and the chat is lit. Stay tuned in. Like Zach Morris, I got detention like the cool kids. I do's this, homie. I thought you knew this. If you did it, now you do. Had to prove it. Thanks for watching. What's everybody's favorite topic? Leave a comment in the chat and refrain from gossip. Stop it. If you hating, there's no debating. Promise, I'm going up like Hakeem. I can't wait to block you. Nah, dog, cause this a party. Get your popcorn. popcorn ready, we about to get it started. I'm super grateful. Thank you all for being with me. How we looking? Am I good?
Sitting pretty.
I'm elated that y'all would take time to kick it with me, cause I ain't famous, so I'm grateful for the subs you gifting. Shout out to Shadow. I know my guy is always listening, and I appreciate the bits. Fire emoji pimpin'. Let's get it. I'ma give you what you came to see. Please hit the follow button for me. We can proceed. R&B Child's High, class of 03. Shout out to everybody back home and everybody that's in the stream. Love y'all.
Let's go.
Shit.
We testing the game.
Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being with us.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Can I get a one time for that amazing monologue? Bang! Shout out to AeroRising. We say it all the time on this show, but he does so much for us. Yep. Written, directed, edited, etc., FML. I mean, he did that. Shout out to you, Brody. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you dug it. I think it was the best one yet. We have a motto on this show. What's a motto? Nothing. What's a motto with you? The motto is...
You just keep getting better and better.
That's right. We're trying to get better and better and better and better. Looking forward to a great lineup today, ladies and gentlemen. As we talked in the monologue, we've got the movie preview game, we've got movie reviews, and we've got the live reading of The Witcher, and a couple other special things for you. Looking forward, we're gonna jump right into this thing. I guess I gotta do it. We gotta acknowledge the chat one time. Show some love. Ladies and gentlemen, those little diamonds next to some of those names indicate our VIPs, and this is what that sounds like.
Got a Superman band that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with the
Diamonds in the chat. Bang! Diamonds! Shout out to all of y'all. Chucha says, great monologue. Unfortunately, I have cable and the subscription. Poor thing. Poor thing. That's how they get you, Aunt says. Simple, little, yellow. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. All right, I want to do this. It's not often that we get to acknowledge one of our community members. He's much more than that to me. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a very special day. It is officially Pisces season, and tomorrow is RUSS Barber's birthday. What's his name?
RUSS.
Shout out to you, Dad, if y'all would. Give him up one time. Bang! The birthday guy. Show him how you do, Russ. Show him how you do. Matter of fact, just cuz.
I wanna know who Russ is.
Do it to him.
I want him to show me.
We love you, man. We hope you have an amazing birthday. If I can't be there to celebrate with you, hey, this is the next best thing, all right? You have a wonderful day. Love you. We'll talk tomorrow. Shout out to Russ one time. Bang. Shadow's hitting the Billie Jeans in the chat. Gotta do it for him. Go on and get him, Shadow. Let it ride. Come on. Hey. All right? Appreciate y'all. AeroRising says, he's like, this is the next best thing? Pretty good. Believe it or not, I thought the same thing when I said it, but hey, man, gotta roll with the punches. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna keep this thing rolling. It's probably not gonna be a very long stream today. Could have made a joke, didn't? That's all right. We've been doing so well. We've been together, I think, for the last couple of weeks. We've been doing mega movie reviews and all that jazz. I will tell you this. Today's movie review lineup, all good things. All right, sometimes we have some bad titles in the mix, sadly. Can't help it. This week, I think everybody's gonna be very, very pleased. Hand claps. But first, we have our I should say, it's not a new segment, but our newest segment is something we call the Chapo Report. Now, what's the Chapo Report? Well, before I do that, let me show you. I'm going to introduce y'all to a new graphic on screen. I hope you love it as much as I do. Ladies and gentlemen, The Chapo Report, huh? Look at that little guy. And for our subscribers, you all have a new emoji alert. Let's go. If you are a subscriber, you might notice a brand new animated emoji in the chat for none other than our guy Chapo. That's for y'all to make use of. If you have access, let's see some Chapos in the chat, shall we? There he is. Let's go. Chapo status. All right, so what the hell is Chapo? Some of y'all just tuning in for the first time is like, what is he talking about? So the Fam Bam lives in North Florida. One time for them and everybody back home. The Fam Bam back home in North Florida. Well, my parents have 40 acres. We call it the property. It's called Razor Creek. Well, there's a pond on Razor Creek, and a couple of weekends ago, my parents sent me a couple of photos. As it turns out, we've got a brand new family member, and his name is affectionately Chapo, and he is the alligator that lives at the property. Hand claps for Chapo, okay? And so we've been giving you all updates on Chapo, and so to kick off this week's Chapo Report, look what I got for you. Wait for it. Ta-da. What does that mean? Anytime you see that little colored gradient on screen, it means I'm gonna play you a video most likely. So this is this week's Chapo Report. See if we can get this thing to work. Check this out. That's what the property looks like, as a matter of fact. Shout out to my dad and my mom and that beautiful blue water. All right, but sadly, you'll notice it sounds like this. Where the hell is Chapo? Ain't no Chapo. Ain't no Chapo. So as I hope you can appreciate, they landscaped. And so in doing so, I think it scared off the little alligator. And so now he is no longer there. I know. But wait, there's more children. Hold on. Let's go ahead and cut that clip. AeroRising says, poor man's Chapo. Oh, it's really Chapa. I missed that. I missed that. Chucha, go make sure he's not in there. No, don't do that. Don't do that, sweetheart. And listen, I gotta pull his card. Russ is about that life, okay? Originally, he sent a photo of Chapo, and he was down in the weeds. Some of y'all might remember. And I was like, man, we need a better photo. I need you to get down in that water and show us what the alligator looks like. I was kidding, okay? Don't go swimming, man. Even though we know you're about that, you'll come back missing fingers and hands or whatever, man. All right, don't do it. I promised you there was more this week. It's still the Chapo Report. Y'all ready? So my dad sent a couple more photos. First of all, check this out. Now, what are you looking at there? That's actually an alligator den. Yeah, so what we don't know is whether or not this is Chapo's home or if it's the home of another alligator family. I'm just gonna clap because why not? Now, some of y'all might be like, I don't really know what I'm looking at there, so let me zoom in a little bit for you. This is what an alligator den looks like, children. It's like you're getting National Geographic on Testing the Game one time.
We testing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So some of you all might be speculating, like, are there really alligators in there? Is he bullshitting us? Well, as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, this is your look at a real live gator. Now, Russ, you're there. Correct us if I'm wrong. Based on the report, this week's report, this alligator is a little smaller than Chapo, we believe, and so perhaps it's not Chapo, it's another alligator altogether. Is that correct? Word is out. Looking for confirmation. AeroRising says, looks like where I used to hide my Playboy magazines as a kid. And those alligator dens. Had to dust them off. All right, I'm not gonna leave the graphic up too long. That's for everybody's appreciation. Look, it's crazy out there. It's the right time of year. We've got alligators at the property. This is your Chapo Report. Shadow says, Chopper's bam bam. Matter of fact, and there he is, Russ Barber, ladies and gentlemen. He says, Chapo and friends. pretty cool. Nevertheless, I think it's awesome that we have alligators out there. Now, be safe and all that. Now look, we've got snakes and spiders and all kinds of shit. I mean, that's North Florida, baby. But I think giving the Chapo report is very cute. Hopefully you all love the new emote and the new graphic. One time, that was this week's Chapo Report. All right. AeroRising says, let's get a dart gun and tag them. Dude, it's a fucking dart in your neck. You're crazy. You're crazy. If you know, you know. I believe Russ confirmed this again for us, if you would. I think you've set up cameras out there, so now maybe you don't have to be there live to capture some of this footage. That's really dope. Shout out to you, man. Looking forward to seeing what more comes from the Chapo Report. And hopefully y'all really enjoy that new emote. Try to make things... Sheldon, tell them one more time what we're trying to do.
You just keep getting better and better.
That's right. Oh, and I missed the opportunity. I've got so much going on. So, matter of fact, throw up the Chapo Report one more time, right? I was supposed to do this. Come on, that would have been decent. Right? You get it. All right, you get it. Jesus, so many buttons. All right. That's what we were going for, ladies and gentlemen. Bang. I think I'm gonna finally bite the bullet, no pun intended, and invest in the larger Stream Deck. I just think it's time. I have so many buttons and I have to navigate through like 7 pages. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No Harry Potter. Russ Barber says, yep, we're hoping for better Chapo Report next week. My man. Looking forward to it. Be careful. AeroRising says, not the same species, but we get it. Thanks, man. Thanks. There's really not like a movie theme or a show theme for alligators. And I could do the University of Florida, but we don't do that around here, all right? We don't do that around here, not these parts. But I am considering creating a whole new Chapo Report soundbite, just like the one that we have for the Witcher recap.
Toss a coin. You mentioned coin.
Witcher recap.
Come on, that's pretty sick. I don't care who you are, that's pretty sick. It won't be that, obviously. It'll be alligator themed, and we'll try to incorporate our Big Chopper sounds. Big Chopper. All right. Chucha Barber says, no UF claps in the chat. Okay, please. I did that. No, look, shout out to Florida. Shout out to all the home teams one time. Back. AeroRising says, you always did want a larger deck, huh? All right. Good one. I know, sorry, man, the timing's a little off. There's lots going on. I know you're hitting the jokes right. Timing is everything in comedy. I know. And I'm sorry, look, I'm going to tell the world, I flubbed one of the lines in Ant's monologue this week. I did. Ooh. I just missed the punchline. No one will ever know this, and I shouldn't be telling secrets, you know? It's like a magician. You never tell how the trick is done. However, I want to give him full credit. You know, he writes these brilliant lines, and I have mistakenly taken liberties in the past, and I'm so sorry I did that. But in all sincerity, there was a really great joke in there that I just didn't see. What happens is I take his script and I put it in a PowerPoint because it helps me with the memorization. I make it like bite size, and I guess one of the lines just didn't copy and paste, or if it was hidden below the slide. I don't know what happened. It's embarrassing. But nevertheless, the monologue was great. AeroRising did his thing. One more time for him. Appreciate you, bro. Chucha Barber says, yeah, I think he pointed that out. I'm sure he did, you jerk. I don't blame him. Listen, if I spent all that time writing and editing, I'd be like, hey, man, read what's on the paper, okay? It wasn't intentional. Anyway, moving right along. Ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, we played Ryan's first ad break, as a matter of fact. Yep, I'm gonna clap it up because it legitimizes the stream, I think. I know it's an ad break, and that's like, ads are lame. But as it turns out, this particular ad, I think, is pretty cool. I hope you all would agree. Yeah, I've been telling you about it. And we are officially a Philly. We're an affiliate. So we took that original ad break, we made it a video, we sent it to the app, we asked for sponsorship and partnership, and they gave us an affiliate promo code. So now we are an official affiliate. And so I'm gonna play that ad break going forward only because I hope to replicate our process when we identify other prospects, sponsors, etc., etc. That's right. Tell them, Sheldon.
You just keep getting better and better.
That's what we're trying to do. Trying to get better and better and better. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll indulge me for just a split second, I'm going to tell y'all about an app called Cal AI. This episode of Testing the Game is brought to you in part by Cal AI. Cal AI is an advanced calorie tracking app that uses AI-powered image recognition and depth sensing to estimate the macros of your meals instantly from a photo. If you've ever tried tracking your calories, you know the struggle. Just take a picture and the app does the rest, analyzing your food in seconds. It uses your phone's depth sensor to measure volume, and it can scan barcodes for packaged stuff. Accuracy? Around 90%. Download it now and use promo code RMB to make meal tracking effortless. That's promo code RMB. We testing the game. Oh yeah. Shit. So thank you all so much. I know it's a little lame because you all have seen that ad now a couple of times. So I guess the question becomes, do we change it up? Do we keep it? Do we take it out altogether? I'll let you all tell it, all right? You let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, I think is the reason so many of us are here. It will be the movie preview game. Speaking of ads, there is an ad break coming up, and this is a wonderful opportunity to remind you all that, one, if you're not currently following, shame on you, all right? Cost you nothing to hit the follow button. Do me a favor, hit the follow one time, all right? You'll get live notifications, and it'll show your support, and we appreciate you,
Thank you,
all right?
thank you. Far too kind.
As a matter of fact, whenever it happens live on stream, we have a special button that we play, and I'll be glad to do that if anybody is eligible. Last week, we had not one, but two, and that was so wonderful. That was so wonderful. Thank you again to Chucha Barber for campaigning. As a matter of fact,
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
so shout out to you one time, Mom. Love you for that. We appreciate you spreading the news, promoting your boy. We love you, baby. We love you. We love you. And your friends are wonderful to tune in and say hello. AeroRising says, haven't had my coffee yet. About to start it now. Well, go on and get it, eh? Go on and get it. He's saying that for a particular reason, and it has everything to do with the next segment. But before I play that, if you would, go on and get your coffee, eh? Get some concessions. I'll see you in the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope y'all think that's cute. I know Chucha likes that one. And we love that you do. Believe it or not, I think that is copyright free. So said YouTube, which is why I took that version. However, we get flagged for it every single time I see it. Sadly, on Twitch, every time we post our VOD, that little section gets cut. I know, it's pretty lame, but I don't know. Maybe it is copywritten. Who knows? Doesn't matter. If you like it, I like it. It is our intro for the movie preview game until we have something better. Until we have something better. All right. Now, again, there's an ad break about to hit, so rest assured, I'll wait to start the game until that ends so that everybody gets a fair chance, okay? I'll see you in a second. I'll see you in a second. Chances are the people that are now watching those ads, it's a coffee break. Well done, Ant. Well done. Shout out to you. The people that are probably stomaching those ads at the moment are the ones that probably need the instructions the most, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we give them a minute or so. Feel like I'm just killing time. It's all family in the chat. Now, I will say this. Sadly, we only have 3 subscribers. I know that means that a couple of you all who were formerly subscribers, thank you, you need to go ahead and renew your subscription, okay? I'm just saying. Then you don't have ads, and you get to make use of the brand new Chapo emoji. Come on, big Chapo. Chapo go do. Chill. Chucha says, I got a message when I logged into Twitch that the audio from last week was blocked in places because of copyright material. See that? Aww. I know. I think it was that particular section, however. Now, in fairness, we do play a lot of little sound bites that are obviously copywritten, and on YouTube, we always get flagged for our montage during the movie preview session. So we'll deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. We did have an instance. Remember I played the long trailer for Landman? Remember Landman? Paramount Plus didn't like that at all. So I had to actually cut that whole section out of the VOD before we could get it live on YouTube. But no big deal. No harm, no foul. Billy Bob. The cool thing is during the live, there's like no penalties as far as I know. At least I hope not. Maybe one of the reasons why we're not seeing those checks is because we're using copywritten material. You think of that? I don't know. They're certainly not telling me either way, but that's fine. Keep your checks. Who cares? 35 seconds till our guests get back from the ad break. I'm just killing time, ladies and gentlemen. I should have paced this out a little differently. It is what it is. Give me a break. AeroRising says blank check. Yeah. I wish they did send a blank check. Ant put me on game this morning. He sent me a link. Apparently there was a company that sent somebody like $28 trillion in like an error. So when they looked at their bank account this morning, they had a lot of extra digits in it. But I'm sure they're gonna correct that. But shout out to Ant. I should have used that, as a matter of fact, for the putting you on game segment. I just didn't think of it. Ant says, shit, I am back. No more ads. Bang. All right, welcome back. There it is. Citibank really messed up. One of these. He said, your boy would have spent that money immediately. You know, I think they've done, like Mr. Beast and them, I think they've done YouTube videos where they try to see how fast you can spend like an ungodly amount of money. It's more challenging than you might think, as a matter of fact. He said, new Tiburon. Hey, same year though. Same year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is about to be the movie preview game. Let's get into it, all right? In just a few moments, I'm gonna throw up that colorful gradient on screen again, and then I'm gonna play a movie trailer. And all you have to do is be the first person to tell us the name of the film in the chat before our other challengers, all right? The caveats are, it has to be the full name of the title. If it's a sequel or something like that, it can't just be like last week. I think it was Jurassic Park. It can't just be that. It's got to be Jurassic World Rebirth, I think is exactly what it was. And shout out to our winner. I'll tell you who that was in a second. You also have to spell it right. I'll be the judge and all of that. But you're playing for a lot of things. But I'll tell you more. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a current champion on the show. I'm hearing something. Hold on one second. Cutting in.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special report.
Are you ready? Hey, think you could tell us what to do? You think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down.
Chill! Break it down, ladies and gentlemen. This week's movie preview game champion. None other than, gotta find him. There he is. AeroRising. Come on. This is his prize. He's the champ. He gets to wear the belt. You can see him wearing it in the picture. I was proud to be his manager that day, as a matter of fact. Oh, Robbie the Brain Heenan. That's who that is. Robbie the Brain. And he is our defending champ. He gets his name on the board as well. Please Give it up. Come on. Are you ready? Let's go. Slick ride. Yeah, he had his slick back. Oh, Chucha loved that. Well done. Let's go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're far too kind. Matter of fact, what's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
All right. AeroRising is our champion. Some of y'all might be like, wait, I'm lost. Don't worry. I'm going to play a movie trailer. If you're the first person to get it right, you'll be the champion next week, okay? That's how that goes. Now watch this. Ant, he's going for another new record. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a 13-time champion, if you can believe that. 13 times! So shout out to all of our former champions. Hand claps again. Hand claps. You can see those names on the board there. I want to fill all of those slots. That's what she said. Okay, pause. Seriously though, I want to get all of those player names filled up. So ladies and gentlemen, study up. Watch your trailers. Typically, I mean, look, it's going to be a film that Ryan kind of likes, so you can narrow it down a little bit. Not a whole lot of horror, but sometimes. And it's typically new movies, all right? There were some comments in the chat recently that maybe we should do a throwback episode. We can, if the world wants that. Maybe that'll balance the playing field. But it's just like going to the movies. You see trailers for coming attractions. Yeah, that's right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, AeroRising is the current champion, as we've said, and he'll be defending his title today. Here comes that movie preview gradient. And in just a moment, I'm going to turn down the lo-fi and I'm going to play you this week's trailer. And I hope you all are ready. Now, I'll be honest. Here's your hint. We don't always give them. This one might be a little obscure. I'm not so sure. But it looks cool, and I like some of the people that are in it. So this is what you get. And I think it's a brand new trailer. And so maybe this is a debut for so many of y'all. I hope you're ready. Best of luck. Here she comes.
This entire nature preserve was donated by the Leopold.
Shout out to Paul Rudd.
It's truly untouched by man.
Come on. A24. We love them too.
Big game on the road. The fuck was that? Must be moose mating season or something.
That kid's funny. I like him. He's come a long way. Got some bullshit in the chat. Good American Family. Hey, good guess. That's not it. Death of a Unicorn. Oh! He does it again, ladies and gentlemen. He is the champ for a reason. March 28th.
Unicorns used to be seen like these divine monsters because people fully believe that they could heal literally anything.
It's an opportunity.
Come on, it looks cool. Shadow, I'm a little disappointed in you, buddy.
We have a moral imperative to harvest every last one.
It says, I knew I saw it, but then Unicorn gave it away. Well, of course it did.
They're gonna kill us.
I don't know what to make of it exactly, but it looks cool. I'm down.
Don't move.
Death of a Unicorn.
Called it. There's no negotiating with monsters.
In theaters everywhere, March 28th. Ladies and gentlemen, he is our 14-time champion.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Get it. Come on. I don't know how long this goes for.
It's all about the game and how you play it.
There it is. AeroRising, well done, my friend. Hats off to you. Pause. You did that thing, man. 14-time champ, ladies and gentlemen. 14 times. Now watch this. I don't think I said this before. You're not just playing for fun and pride and all that good stuff. If you win 3 times, can I get a gunshot? R&B's gonna take you to the movies. I'm gonna buy you movie tickets. Ant has won more than 3 times, obviously, so if he wins one more time, 15? Can it be done? Some say no. he'll be going back to the movies. Come on. 15 times. Pretty sick. AeroRising says, it was a preview ad on Peacock recently. New Tom Hanks nature documentary. Saw it 2 nights ago. Well, there you go. All right, you gotta stay up on it. Chucha says, I'm playing for fun because I never win. Oh, Chucha.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Come on, sweetheart. Come on. Listen. All you gotta do is do a little research and then you'll be privy. You know, that's what we used to do back in the day. Here's the other difference. The game was invented because my friends and I would go to the movies so often. And when you go so often, you see so many of the same trailers, right? So you would just kind of memorize the first 2 stills of the trailer, and then you just had to beat everybody in saying the full title firstly. This game is a little more challenging, but I give you a full week to do your research. Come on! It's all for fun. I hope that was entertaining. Ladies and gentlemen, 14-time champion. That's pretty cool. Salute to him. AeroRising, one more again. All right, taking down the belt. And the name goes away until next week. Coming up next, however, ladies and gentlemen, is R&B's movie series review. Hang out with us.
It's only a movie.
Just look over your shoulders, honey.
Yeah!
Good morning, Vietnam!
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Hey, you guys!
Enjoy your remaining years.
I will. Enjoy fucking jewels.
I will.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Alrighty then.
Get your popcorn ready. Oh yeah. This might be my favorite segment of the show, if you can imagine that. I get to tell you all about some of the films, some of the series, shows, etc. that I've seen recently, and whether or not I think you might enjoy them too. I want to address this in the chat. And we talked about this, bro. You wanted to come out to the DX. We did that. And then if you won 14 times, you would have tied Triple H. So we gave you... Come on! That's what you asked for, big dog. Did I miss something? Did I miss something? He said he must have blacked out. All right. There's also some other activity in the chat. I won't read all of that. Although Chucha says, this always makes me want to go back and watch those movies again. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it, as do I. And I love when you all have seen some of these projects and then we can talk about it. I don't profess that my opinion is correct or the right one. It's just what I think. Last week we talked about a show that I really liked, and some of y'all have told me you don't love it. Did anybody go back and rewatch Ghosts by chance? It's a really cute show. I wish I never saw it so I could watch it all again. That's how much I like it. But it's not for everybody. You didn't hear the Triple H? Oh my goodness, you're gonna have to rewatch the VOD. It was pretty epic, okay? I don't know what happened where you missed it. It was a whole ordeal, okay? Pretty funny. Pretty funny that you missed that shit. Yeah, Patrick Swayze did his thing and goes, yeah, he did. All right. And I also saw a comment from Chucha earlier that read that she's gonna have to have Anthony over for pizza and watch trailers on Friday, and then she's gonna unplug the Wi-Fi. I thought that was worth rereading. It's pretty cute, Ma. It's pretty cute. All right, yep, this is this week's Ryan's movie review. Come on. At the top of the show, I told you that I don't always get to tell you about great shows. Sometimes they suck, quite frankly.
This week, however, I've got 3 titles for you, which is pretty impressive considering we've been streaming every week. How does he do it, folks? How does he do it? I got spare time. The 3 titles this week are all great. And I don't say that lightly. I think they're all great. Borderline great. It's probably more accurate. All right, let's just get right into this thing. First up, normally I start low and high. I'll tell you about the ones that I didn't love as much, and then the ones, your pick of the week. We're going to end with that. And I've got a pick of the week for you, so we'll get there. But the first one, we often start with like the specialty projects. Sometimes it's stand-up comedy, sometimes it's a sports documentary. This week, it is in fact a sports documentary referred to none other than or by AeroRising. Appreciate you, bro. It's called Court of Gold. Bang! This is a really cool Netflix doc series, and I've got the synopsis here. In fact, I'll read it to you. Court of Gold is a 6-part Netflix documentary series that provides an intimate look into the journeys of 4 men's basketball teams, USA, France, Serbia, and Canada, during the 2024 Paris Olympics. It was directed by Jake Rogel and produced by Higher Ground Productions. The series offers behind-the-scenes access to the athletes' preparations, challenges, and their pursuit of Olympic glory. Notably, the documentary highlights the athletes' dual commitment to social justice and Olympic aspirations. Court of Gold is available for streaming right now on Netflix. Yeah! And I hate to do it, but ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, we don't normally do this on the show, but if you don't know this, then shame on you. That's right. Shout out to the Avengers. Goes for, so let's go ahead.
Is in King's Landing.
Whoa.
Her son sits.
So many buttons, right? So many buttons. Shout out to the USA men's team. They did that thing. Bang. Gotta get the bigger stream decks. Too many screens for me to be navigating. That's note to self. Wonderful performance. I happened to see some of these games when they took place during the Olympics, but getting the behind the scenes access was really, really cool. Hand claps for them one more time. Court of Gold, one more time on Netflix, and all of these teams played out of their mind, and it's worth watching. Chucha Barber says, any Oscar nominee reviews? I actually don't know, Mom. I don't know who the nominees are. I should have done this. The nominee for, I don't know, so shame on me. Shame on me. AeroRising says, Conan O'Brien didn't even watch all the movies, he said. Okay. All hands on deck. All right. Moving right along. I love a good sports doc, as I hope so many of you do too. We like watching greatness. It's inspiring. It's inspiring, and they did that thing. Shout out to all those teams. I don't have to say too much. I'm certainly not the one to speak on any sports-related topics, okay? If you know, you know. But I enjoyed the series. I hope you all check it out. Court of Gold, streaming on Netflix. That's it. Moving right along. This next title was actually a movie preview game trailer not too long ago. So there's a hint. Now there's no competition here. I'll just throw up the poster and tell you all about it. How about that? I was actually really happy that I got to see this so early because I think it just came out. This one is called Companion. This film stars Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, and Lucas Gage, to name a few. Companion is a 2025 American science fiction horror thriller. See, sometimes we get that. Matter of fact, all right, you get it. I'll let you have that. It's directed by Drew Hancock. Okay. The film stars Sophie Thatcher as Iris and Jack Quaid as Josh, a couple whose weekend getaway with friends at a remote cabin takes a dark turn upon the revelation that one of the guests is a companion robot. I'll let you guess based on the movie poster there. Okay, I mean, it's a little obvious, don't you think? That one's kind of right on the nose. Also, we did play the trailer, so you should remember that.
RUSS says, it's Herbie Hancock. God damn. Oh, that's hilarious. Also, Chucha says, basketball and horror. Now I'm going for a coffee break. All right, what's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
All right, no, honestly, the sports doc, really good. Watch that before you go to the gym. You'll get inspired. This one, it's pretty good. It's different. And honestly, I think it's what the future promises. I really do. So I'm going to finish the synopsis, and I'll tell you a little more about it if you want. The ensemble, as I mentioned, includes Lucas Gage, Megan Suri, Harvey Guillén, I don't know how to say that, and Rupert Friend. It released in theaters in January, late January. Companion received positive reviews for its engaging storytelling and performances, particularly Thatcher's portrayal of Iris, this robot of sorts. The film is now available for streaming on various video-on-demand platforms, including, I believe, Amazon Prime Video. So maybe that's where you all can check this out. RUSS says, normally I'd say definitely she shouldn't watch the sports one, but because it's the Olympics and behind the scenes, she might make it through at least one episode. I agree. Some of those sports docs are, hands down, I think the best sports doc I've ever seen is The Last Dance with the Bulls, man. That Michael Jordan jump. All right, back to this. Companion. I'm going to give you the inside scoop, okay? She's a sex robot, and she kills people in the movie, and that's what the whole plot's about. It's not a spoiler. That's what the plot's about. And again, the trailer tells you all of that. I won't tell you who, won't tell you how, won't tell you why. Watch the movie, let me know what you think. But it's deep, and it was entertaining. That's why it's number 2 on our list of 3 this week. Companion. And I agree. I think that Sophie Thatcher did a great job. And I like Jack Quaid. If you know Jack Quaid, he's the son of another famous actor. Maybe there's 2 of them. I don't know his lineage like that, but he's a Nepo baby. And he stars in one of my favorite shows, The Boys. If you know, you know. Dennis, yeah, I was thinking of his mom too. Who's his mom? I don't know. You'll tell his aunt. But yeah, Dennis Quaid, it's his son. Could be Randy, shit, I don't know. I don't even know what a fucking Quaid is. Anyway. All right, moving right along. That was Companion, ladies and gentlemen. Hand claps. I told you it was going to be a short show. We're going to do our thing this week. Now, this next one, this was one that I was encouraged to watch by a few of you all. So thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Case in point, it is your movie pick of the week. Absolutely. This week, it is none other than Nosferatu. I should have came up with some kind of soundbite for this, but I didn't. Shame on me. Nosferatu, starring Lily Rose Depp, daughter of Johnny Depp. One time for him. I don't know who her mama is. I don't know her lineage like that. Don't really care about these things. All right, Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and also none other than Willem Dafoe, who does a great job. They all play their part, as a matter of fact. But I think Lily Rose Depp takes the cake. Although Bill Skarsgård, you wouldn't know it's Bill Skarsgård unless you know. He killed it. But they all did a really great job. AeroRising says, to all the fellas out there, you did get to see your boobs eventually. Hang in there. Hang in there. There is that. All right, if you don't know, Nosferatu, it's a remake. Just came out. But I'm going to give you the backstory. You ready? Nosferatu, an American Gothic horror film. So another one of those, Mom. All right. This one, however, better. Even better. This is very artistic, if you can dig that. Chucha says, and we end the previews with vampires. I guess it's not my movie week. Aww. Yeah, we do love vampires. And shout out to everybody else that does. All right? Because there's a lot of us. All right, this film was written and directed by Robert Eggers, the remake of the 1922 classic. It stars Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok and Lily Rose Depp as Ellen Hutter, and Nicholas Hoult as Thomas Hutter. Set in 1838, the film follows Thomas, who is a real estate agent, which is also interesting because back then they had those, and it's a different dynamic, but it's cool.
He travels to Transylvania to assist Count Orlok with a property purchase, unknowingly bringing a vampire into his life and endangering his wife Ellen. The film received very positive reviews for its atmospheric storytelling and performances, particularly Skarsgård's portrayal of Orlok. He did that. He did. If you don't know my guy Skarsgård, he also played Pennywise, and he is amongst a wonderful family of actors. Shout out to all of the Skarsgård clan. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe Nosferatu might be available in the US on the Peacock platform. So might be able to check that out on Peacock. I don't know for sure. Maybe my Floridian family will be able to confirm. AeroRising says, nah, this is probably one that you'll like, Chucha. It's not your typical vampire movie, more artsy. As I said, thank you for that, A&T. I agree. In fact, as soon as the film begins, you appreciate right away some of the artistry in the cinematography and the way that they maneuver the camera and the way that they edit the piece. It was really, really well done. It's very noir. I enjoyed it very much. Ant says he liked it a lot. He also said, wait, with that said, it wasn't great to me, it was good. Man, all right, so he thinks it wasn't great, it was good. I can go there. I thought it was great considering it met all of my prerequisites and criterion, if you will. Great cinematography. It was a remake of a cult classic, if I could call it that. And what I love about it is they waited so very long to do it, and I think they did it right. And then the acting, I think, was superb. Again, I told you the standouts, but Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, and Willem Dafoe, the three of them especially. Though your boy Nicholas Hoult, he also did his thing, and I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, but he was just kind of in it for me. But anyway, it's a good film. I enjoyed it very much. Shout out to some of y'all, because I know you've seen it. My guy Joan, I don't know if you're here, buddy, but I know you dug it too. We saw it. We loved it. Thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind.
It is your pick of the week. All right. Nosferatu. That's it. That's this week's movie previews and the movie reviews. You know what comes next, ladies and gentlemen. And I watch the stats, and they trickle down as we get towards the end of the show, but that's okay. Look, I'm not going to keep you all this week. I think we're already an hour in, which is pretty great. Pretty great. Gave you the Chapo Report. We didn't have is Anthony's part of the show. That's what we didn't have this week, but I'm going to do it for him. He's our champ. He deserves this. He did write and edit and direct an amazing monologue. Shout out to him. We're missing...
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
That's what we're missing. But that's all right. Maybe he'll bless us with an episode next week. Bang. Let's go ahead and switch this thing up and we'll talk a little bit about it. All right? Love y'all. Don't know what just happened right there. Here we go. All right, all kinds of crazy noises happening in the background there, but we're good. It's The Witcher, ladies and gentlemen. It is, and if you would, toss a coin for me.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh.
That's right. I won't tell you how we got here. I do that a lot, so it's a live reading. That's the next segment.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Love you for that, Mom. I know. She's my biggest supporter when it comes to this segment. I love you, girl. Yeah.
Choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo.
Oh yeah. And I know you'll probably dig this if you stick around for it. We're gonna dim these lights, and this is how we do that. Come on. It's a tradition. It's a tradition. I'm gonna raise them up. Come on. Wait for it. There it is. There it is. All right, just a little different vibe, okay? The Witcher. We're reading it Last week's reading was a bit short. Maybe we can read a few more pages because we've got the time this week. If you want to hang out with us, please do. If you don't, I will understand. I will understand. I'm going to change the category so that maybe we can get some people in here writing. We're not writing, but we are reading, and it is the same category. So let's do that. Wait for it. I think it changed. Hand claps. Awesome. So now it's just a little more accurate. I'll remind you, those little vials at the top there, we're working on some goals. If anybody wants to toss a bid or two, okay, I'd be happy to have it. It's not for the money. It's just to celebrate an achievement. As I tell y'all, I'm going to give it back to you if we get there. So once we hit those milestones, we'll be doing something. AeroRising says, I don't know about the Undertaker. That's the Overtaker. You know what I'm saying? I'm still disappointed he missed the Triple H. That's so crazy to me. All right, but you'll rewatch it. You'll love it. For anybody that's watching that feels badly because you don't know where we are in the book, guess what? I got you covered. This is your Witcher recap.
Toss a coin. You mentioned coin. What's there, Witcher recap?
And before I do that, I got to do this too. This is not a sponsored ad, but this is a brand new Red Bull flavor. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce the Norwegian on here, but I think it's a grapefruit, but it's the new spring edition, and how appropriate that it is purple. So there's that. So if you're into Red Bull flavored Red Bull, it's a good one. Look out for the purple can. It's like a lavender. It's pretty good. And maybe we can work out a sponsorship. That would be awesome. I would love that. I have cut back, however. All right, moving on. Just lost the sponsorship. Your Witcher recap. Well, first of all, I say this a lot, and I'm going to say it again. The author of this book, he didn't give us any breaks in the chapters. I know, it's like chapter 2 is just going on and on and on and on, but that's fine. We're going to make progress. So here's where we are. Yennefer, who is a powerful sorceress, is taking Siri of Sintra, who is the princess, and people are looking for her. She's got some kind of spell on where people can't recognize her. And she is going to mage's school, I believe. They stop in Gorvelin. It's a city. Yennefer is with a banker, a dwarf. They're having conversation. Currently, Siri is with a chaperone getting shown around the city. His name is Fabio, as a matter of fact. And last week, we were going through the town. Some things were happening. But where we left off was that I think it was like a sideshow, and they were promoting a live basilisk. A basilisk. If y'all are up on Harry Potter and them, you know the basilisk is a very large snake, and I don't dig that, but here we are. So I don't know whether or not it was legit, but that's where we are. We're in the city Gorvelin. Siri and her chaperone, Fabio, are about to observe, possibly, a big old snake. That's about as good as I can get it for you.
Toss a coin. You mentioned coin. What's there, Witcher recap?
All right, and then as tradition, I'm going to do it again for her. We toss a coin before we begin the reading, so if you would, do me that favor.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh.
Here we go. Let's get comfortable. Let's get comfortable. Okay. That'll be 6, said the pockmarked man, looking down at the 4 coppers in his palm. 3 5-groat pieces each. Only women and children get in cheap. He, replied Siri, pointing a finger at Fabio with a pear, is a child, and I'm a woman. Only women carrying children, growled the pockmarked man. Go on, chuck in 2 more 5-groat pieces, clever little miss, or scram and let other people get through. Make haste, folks, only 3 more empty spaces. Inside the canvas enclosure, townspeople were milling around, forming a solid ring around a stage constructed of wooden planks. On the stage stood a wooden cage covered with a carpet. Having led in the final spectators, the pockmarked man jumped onto the stage, seized a long pole, and used it to pull the carpet away. The air filled with the smell of an awful mix of unpleasant reptilian stench. The spectators rumbled and stepped back a bit. "You're being too sensible, good people," said the pockmarked man. "Not too close, for it may be perilous." Inside the cage, which was far too cramped for it, lay a lizard. It was covered in dark, strangely shaped scales and curled up into a ball. When the pockmarked man knocked the cage with his pole, the reptile writhed, grated its scales against the bars, extended its long neck, and let out a piercing hiss, revealing sharp, white fangs, which contrasted vividly with the almost black scales around its maw. The spectators exhaled audibly. A shaggy little dog in the arms of a woman who looked like a stall holder yapped shrilly. "Look carefully, good people," called the pockmarked man, "and be glad that beasts like this don't live near our city. This monstrous basilisk is from a distant Zeracania. Don't come any closer, because though it's secure in a cage, its breath alone could poison you." Siri and Fabio finally pushed their way through the ring of spectators. The basilisk continued, the pockmarked man on stage, resting on the pole like a guard leaning on his halberd, "is the most venomous beast in the world. For the basilisk is the king of all of the serpents. Were there more basilisks, this world would disappear without a trace. Fortunately, it is the most rare monster. It only ever hatches from an egg laid by a cockerel. And you know yourselves that not every cockerel can lay an egg, but only a knavish one who presents his rump to another cockerel in the manner of a mother hen."
That's what she said.
The spectators reacted with general laughter to his superior or possibly posterior joke. Right? Come on. The only person not laughing was Siri. She didn't take her eyes off the creature, which, disturbed by the noise, was writhing and banging against the bars of the cage, biting them and vainly trying to spread its wings in the cramped space. Chucha says, "What an image! What an image!" An egg laid by a cockerel like that, continued the pockmarked man, must be brooded by 101 venomous snakes. And when the basilisk hatches from the egg, "That isn't a basilisk," cried Siri, chewing a bergamot pear. The pockmarked man looked at her, askance. "When the basilisk hatches, I was saying," he continued, "then it devours all the snakes in the nest, imbibing their venom without suffering any harm from it. It becomes so swollen with venom itself that it is able to kill not only with its teeth, not only with its touch, but with its breath alone. And when a mounted knight ups and stabs a basilisk with his spear, the poison runs up the shaft, killing both the rider and the horse outright." "That's the falsest lie," said Siri aloud, spitting out a pip. "It's the truest truth," protested the pockmarked man. "He kills them. He kills the horse and its rider." "Yeah, right." "Be quiet, miss." "Be quiet, miss," shouted the marketer trader with the dog. "Don't interfere. We want to marvel and listen." "Siri, stop it," whispered Fabio, nudging her in the ribs. Siri snorted at him, reaching into the basket for another pear. "Every animal," said the pockmarked man, raising his voice against the murmur which was intensifying among the spectators, "flees the basilisk as soon as it hears its hiss.
Every animal, even a dragon. What am I saying? Even a crocodile. And a crocodile is awfully dreadful, as anyone who's seen one knows. The only and only animal that doesn't fear the basilisk is the marten. The marten, when it sees the monster in the wilderness, runs as fast as it can into the forest, looks for certain herbs known only to it, and eats them. Then the basilisk's venom is harmless, and the marten can bite it to death. Siri snorted with laughter and made a long, drawn-out, extremely rude noise with her lips. "Hey, little know-it-all," burst out the pockmarked man. "If it's not to your liking, you know where the door is. No one's forcing you to listen or to look at the basilisk." "That's no basilisk." "Oh, yeah? So what is it, Miss Know-it-all?" "It's a wyvern," said Siri, throwing away the pear's stalk and licking her fingers. "It's a common wyvern. Young, small, starving, and dirty. But a wyvern, that's all. Wyvern in elder speech." "Oh, look at this!" shouted the pockmarked man. "What a clever clogs! Shut your trap, because when I say, spoke up a fair-haired young man in velvet beret and a squire's doublet with a coat of arms. He had a delicate pale girl in an apricot dress on his arm. "Not so fast, my good animal catcher. Do not threaten the noble lady, for I will readily tan your hide with my sword. And furthermore, something smacks of trickery here." "What trickery, young Sir Knight?" choked the pockmarked man. "She's lying! I meant to say, the high-born young lady is in error. It is a basilisk." "It's a wyvern," repeated Siri. "What do you mean, a vernon? It's a basilisk. Look at how menacing it is, how it hisses, how it bites at its cage. Look at those teeth. It's got teeth, I tell you, like a wyvern," scowled Siri. "If you've taken leave of your senses," said the pockmarked man, fixing her with a gaze that a real basilisk would have been proud of, "then come closer, step up, and let it breathe on you. You laughed at its venom. Now let's see you croak. Come along, step up." "Not a problem," said Siri, pulling her arm out of Fabio's grasp and taking a step forward. "I shan't allow it," cried the fair-haired squire, dropping his apricot companion's arm and blocking Siri's way. "It cannot be. You're risking too much, fair lady." Siri, who had never been addressed like that before, blushed a little, looked at the young man and fluttered her eyelids in a way that she had tried out numerous times on the scribe Yaarrr. "There's no risk whatsoever, noble knight," she smiled seductively, in spite of all of Yennefer's warnings, and remembers about the fable of the simpleton gazing foolishly at the cheese. "Nothing will happen to me. That so-called poisonous breath, it's a claptrap." "I would, however, like to stand beside you," said the youth, putting his hand on the hilt of his sword, "to protect and defend. Will you allow me?" "I will," said Siri, not knowing why the expression of rage on the apricot maiden's face was causing her such pleasure. "It is I who shall defend and protect her," said Fabio, sticking his chest out and looking at the squire defiantly. "And I shall stand with her too." "Gentlemen," Siri puffed herself up with pride and stuck her nose in the air. "A little more dignity. Don't shove. There'll be room enough for everyone." The ring of spectators swayed and murmured as she bravely approached the cage, followed so closely by the boys that she could almost feel their breath on her neck. The wyvern hissed furiously and struggled, its reptilian stench assaulting their noses. Fabio gasped loudly, but Siri didn't withdraw. She drew even closer and held out a hand,
almost touching the cage. The monster hurled itself at the bars, raking them with its teeth. The crowd swayed once more, and someone cried out. "Well?" Siri turned around, hands proudly on her hips. "Did I die? Has that so-called venomous monster poisoned me? He's no more a basilisk than I am." She broke off, seeing the sudden paleness of the faces of Fabio and the squire. She turned around quickly and saw 2 bars of the cage parting under the force of the enlarged lizard, tearing rusty nails out of the frame. "Run!" she shouted at the top of her voice. "The cage is breaking!" The crowd rushed, screaming for the doors. Several of them tried to tear their way through the canvas sheeting, but they only managed to entangle themselves and others in it, eventually collapsing into a struggling, yelling mass of humanity. Just as Siri was trying to jump out of the way, the squire seized her arm, and the 2 of them staggered, tripped, and fell to the ground, taking Fabio down with them. Anxious yaps came from the stallholder's shaggy little dog, colorful swear words from the pockmarked man, and piercing shrieks from the disoriented apricot maiden. The bars of the cage broke with a crack, and the wyvern struggled free. The pockmarked man jumped down from the stage and tried to restrain it with its pole, but the withering monster knocked it out of his hand with one blow of its claws and lashed at him with its spiny tail, transforming his pockmarked cheek into a bloody pulp. Hissing and spreading its tattered wings, the wyvern flew down from the stage. Its sights were set on Siri, Fabio, and the squire, who were trying to get to their feet. The apricot maiden fainted and fell flat on her back. Siri tensed, preparing to jump, but realized she wouldn't make it. They were saved by the shaggy little dog, who, still yapping shrilly, broke free from its owner's arms. She had fallen and become entangled in her own 6 skirts and lunged at the monster. The wyvern hissed, rose up, pinned the cur down with its talons, twisted its body with a swift serpentine movement, and sank its teeth into the dog's neck. The dog howled wildly. The squire struggled to his knees and reached down to his side, but didn't find his hilt. Siri had been too quick for him. She had drawn his sword from its scabbard in a lightning-fast movement and leapt into a half-turn. The wyvern rose, the dog's severed head hanging in its sharp-toothed jaws. It seemed to Siri that all the movements she had learned in Cameron were performing themselves, almost without her conscious will or participation. She slashed the astonished wyvern in the belly and immediately spun away to avoid it. The lunging lizard fell and sprang, splurting blood. Siri jumped over it, skillfully avoiding its swishing tail. Then, with a sure, accurate, and powerful blow, she hacked into the monster's neck, jumped back, and made an instinctive, but now unnecessary, evasive maneuver, and then struck at it once again, this time chopping through its backbone. The wyvern writhed briefly in pain, and then stopped moving. Only its serpentine tail continued to thrash and slap the ground, raining sand all around. Dang! Siri's a bit of a badass, ain't she? A little bit. Now, this could be a good stopping point for us. Chucha says, more, let's go! All right, well, you know what you gotta do, sweetheart. All you gotta do is toss me a coin.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty.
I like that the book is finally exciting again. There were so many reads
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
It's a different piece. Wait for it. In the highs one time. Ya scared? Love that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I was saying I like that it's exciting again. Action, little action. Jesus Christ. I was thinking, honestly, I thought it was going to be the return of our boy, Geralt.
He always has a way of showing up at just the perfect times, you know what I'm saying? But it sounds like Siri's a bit of a badass herself. Chucha says, it is exciting again. What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
All right. And again, I so wish that there was an end in sight. It might just be one chapter. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I like books that have stopping points. My goodness. Chucha says, I want to get her back. We all do, babe. Oh, no, we all do. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. Siri quickly shoved the bloodied sword into the squire's hand. Danger over, she shouted to the fleeing crowd and the spectators still trying to extricate themselves from the canvas sheeting. The monster's dead. This brave knight has killed him dead. She suddenly felt a tightening in her throat and a whirling in her stomach. Everything went black. Something hit her in the bottom with tremendous force, making her teeth snap together. She looked around blankly. The thing that struck her was the ground. Siri, whispered Fabio, leaning beside her. What's the matter? By the gods, you're as white as a sheet. It's a pity, she muttered. You can't see yourself. People crowded around. Several of them prodded the wyvern's body with sticks and pokers. A few of them began dressing the pockmarked man's wounds. The rest cheered the heroic squire, the fearless dragon killer, the only person to keep a cool head and prevent a massacre. The squire revived the apricot maiden, still staring somewhat dumbstruck at the blade of his sword, which was covered in smeared streaks of drying blood. My hero, said the apricot maiden, coming to and throwing her arms around the squire's neck. My savior, my darling. Fabio, said Siri, weakly, seeing the city constables pushing through the crowd. Help me get up and get us out of here, quickly. Poor children, said a fat townswoman in a cap as she watched them sneak away from the crowd. Oh, you were lucky. Were it not for this valiant young knight, your mothers would be sorely grieving. Find out who that young squire serves, shouted a craftsman in a leather apron. That deed deserves a knightly belt and spurs. And to the pillory with the animal catcher. He deserves a thrashing, bringing a monster like that into the city among people. Water, and quickly, the maiden's fainted again. My darling Fufu, the stall holder suddenly howled as she leaned over what was left of the shaggy little dog. My poor little sweetheart, someone please! Catch that wench! That rascal who infuriated the dragon! Where is she? Someone grab her! It wasn't the animal catcher! She's to blame for all of this! The city constables, helped by numerous volunteers, began to shove their way through the crowd and look around. Siri had overcome her dizziness. Fabio, she whispered, let's split up. We'll meet in a bit in the alleyway that we came along. Go, and if anyone stops you to ask, you don't know me or anything about me. But, Siri, go! She squeezed Yennefer's amulet in her fist and murmured the activation spell. It started working in an instant, and there was no time to lose. The constables who had been forcing their way through the crowd towards her stopped, confused. What the bloody hell? Said one of them in astonishment, looking, it would have seemed, straight at Siri. Where is she? I just saw her. There! Over there! Yelled another, pointing the wrong way. Siri turned around and walked away, still a little dazed and weakened by the rush of adrenaline and the activation of the amulet. The amulet was working perfectly. No one could see her, and no one was paying any attention. Absolutely no one. As a consequence, she was jostled, stamped on, and kicked innumerable times before she finally extricated herself from the crowd. By some miracle, she escaped being crushed by a chest thrown from a cart. She almost had an eye poked out by a pitchfork. Spells, it turned out, had their good and bad sides.
and as many advantages as disadvantages. The amulet's effects did not last long. Siri was not powerful enough to control it or extend the time that the spell was active. Fortunately, the spell wore off at the right moment, just as she left the crowd and saw Fabio waiting for her in the alley. Want me to keep going? We're in it. I'm happy. But I'm here for y'all, good people. Mostly just Choo-Choo.
Choo-choo.
Choo-Choo says go, go! Here we go.
Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
Oh my, said the boy. Oh my goodness, Siri, you're here. I was worried. You needn't have been. Come on, quickly. Noon is past. I've got to get back. You were pretty handy with that monster. The boy looked at her in admiration. You moved like lightning. Where did you learn to do that? What? The squire killed the wyvern. That's not true. I saw... You didn't see anything. Please, Fabio, not a word to anyone. Anyone. And particularly not to Madame Yennefer. Oh, I'll be in it for good if she found out. She fell silent. Those people were right. She pointed behind her, towards the market square. I provoked the wyvern. It was all my fault. No, it wasn't, retorted Fabio firmly. That cage was rotten and bodged together. It could have broken any second, in an hour, tomorrow, the next day. It's better that it happened now because you saved... The squire did, yelled Siri. The squire. Will you finally get that into your head? I'm telling you, if you grasp me up, I'll turn you into something horrible. I know spells. I'll turn you into... Stop, someone called from behind them. That's quite enough of that. One of the women walking behind them had dark, smoothly combed hair, shining eyes, and thin lips. She had a short mauve kamaka cape trimmed with dormouse fur over her shoulders. Why aren't you in school, novice? She asked in a cold, resonant voice, eyeing Siri with a penetrating gaze. Wait, Tisea. I don't know how to say these names. Sorry. Tisea. All right. Choo-Choo wants a kamaka cape. I want that for you, sweetheart. Wait, Tisea, said the other woman, who was younger, tall, and fair-haired, and wore a green dress with a plunging neckline. I don't know her. I don't think she's... Yes, she is, interrupted the dark-haired woman. I'm certain she's one of your girls, Rita. You can't know them all. She's one of the ones who sneaked out of Loxia during the confusion when we were moving dormitories. And she's... I don't know why the text just got challenging to read. Hold on one second. Come on, toss a fucking coin.
Toss a coin to your witcher, O Valley.
Yes, she is, interrupted the dark-haired woman. I'm certain she's one of your girls, Rita. You can't know them all. She's one of the ones who sneaked out of Loxia during the confusion when we were moving dormitories. And she'll admit as much in a moment. Well, novice, I'm waiting. What? Frowned Siri. The woman pursed her thin lips and straightened her cuffs. Who did you steal that amulet of concealment from? Or did someone give it to you? What? Don't test my patience. Name, class, and the name of your preceptress. Quickly. What? Are you acting dumb, novice? Your name. What is your name? Siri clenched her teeth together, and her eyes flared with a green glow. Anna Ingebora Klopstock, she muttered brazenly. The woman raised her hand, and Siri immediately realized the full extent of her error. Only once had Yennefer, I don't know if the font changed in this book or what the hell's happening, but all of a sudden, I can't read these words. The woman raised a hand, and Siri immediately realized the full extent of her error. Only once had Yennefer, wearied by Siri's endless complaining, showed her how a paralyzing spell worked. The sensation had been extremely unpleasant. It was this time too. Fabio yelled weakly and lunged towards her, but the fair-haired woman seized him by the collar and held him fast. The boy struggled, but the woman's grip was like iron. Siri couldn't budge an inch either. She felt as though she were slowly becoming rooted to the spot. The dark-haired woman leaned over and fixed her with her shining eyes. We're going to leave it right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, valley of plenty.
When the words are...
Oh, valley of plenty. Oh.
Not a bad read. We had a bit of excitement. We had a Basilisk, turned out to be a Wyvern. Siri kicked ass, and now we're caught. Ain't that a beach? But more to come on next week's reading if we're all here together. Looking forward to that. Stay tuned. We're going to switch things up and head right back to the live. First, we got to change the lights. Love that. And then we're going to change the category. We're just chatting. Nope. It never wants to just change. Always got to do it twice. That's fine. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, going back to the live. See you in a second.
The entire nature preserve was donated by the...
Always forget to do all of that. But we're back. Hand claps. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, says Chucha. Thank you.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Gun Army, the reading was fantastic. Gun Army's in the house. Bang! Young Gun! Oh, man. You missed the show, bro? Dang. Well, we so appreciate you being here. I'm going to hit it again for you, dog. Pause.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Now, look, dude. Because you're here, if you said, Ryan, I'd love for you to read a couple more pages. I missed it. I'll give you the recap. We'll keep going. I'm here for y'all. But yeah, man, you missed a hell of a show today, dude. But I appreciate you stopping by. And shout out to AeroRising one more time. He wrote, edited, directed a wonderful monologue that we'll soon be posting to social media. So check that out, all right? I know, Young Gun. Oh. Come on, man. Laundry folding without the... Listen, bro, do you want me to keep going? Chucha, are you down to hang out or do you have somewhere to be? I don't want you to miss it, obviously. But if you want me to keep reading, we'll do this thing. I'm here for the people, baby. I'm here for the people. Chucha's down. Young Gun, you want to read a couple pages? All you got to do is toss a coin, Brody. You know how to do that? He says, give me a few pages. You got it, man. You got it. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me right back in. They pull me back in. Sweet. Keep keying in the sweet. All right. We're back. Let's do this. I don't know why that's happening. You shouldn't have those sound effects for both transitions. It's probably just a glitch. We'll fix it. I don't think this has ever happened before, ladies and gentlemen, where we have been called back to read again. Shout out to your Gun Army one time. All right, we're back. Let's do the light. You know what? We're gonna do it all over again, like the Undertaker would. Everything. We're gonna change the lights up. That's right. For dramatic effect, gotta do it. Gotta do it. Wait for it. All right. Hang out with your boy. Part 2, Chapter 2. It's really like Part 10. Here we go. Yeah, you dig it. You dig it. You dig it. And for all the people in the back.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh.
Chucha says, give him a recap. You want it? You got it, darling.
Toss a coin.
You mentioned coin. Let's hear witcher recap.
All right, Young Gun, for you, buddy. Last week, if you recall, Siri and her chaperone were being shown around the city of Gorvelin, right? And right before we ended the read, there was like a circus tent. And
the guy outside who was taking the money to get people inside, he was professing that there was a live basilisk, which, as you might know, is a very large serpent or snake. And apparently, so says the pockmarked man, the most venomous, poisonous creature in all of the world. So, Siri and Fabio go into the tent and they're watching it, and inside this wooden cage is a reptile of sorts with black scales and sharp fangs. Well, Siri recognizes right away that it's not a basilisk. It's actually a wyvern, which I think is like a young dragon or a small dragon, or it's in the same family as a dragon, I think. But it's not a basilisk, it's a wyvern. So there's no poison breath, none of that. So she's challenging the pockmarked man inside the circus tent, saying, that's not a basilisk. Right now they're going back and forth. Then she gets brave. She says, I'll prove it. Or maybe the pockmarked man challenges her and says, well, come on up then and show you, And a squire, a knight inside the tent, speaks up and he's like, I'm not going to let her go up there. And Siri's all about that. But then Fabio, I think he fancies her. Yeah. He's like, well, I'll go too. So the three of them, the knight, the escort, and Siri, walk up to the cage. And the cage breaks. And because there's a little dog, poor little dog. There's a little dog in the tent. And the dog gets the wyvern's attention and the cage breaks. And everybody's scrambling and panicking and whatnot. And spoiler alert, the dog gets it. I know. The dog gets eaten by the wyvern. But Siri takes the sword out of the knight's scabbard and fights the wyvern and crushes it, dude. I don't know how she does it, but she does. And then she gives the sword back to the knight. So nobody sees her doing work. So the wyvern's dead, the dog's dead. The knight gets the credit, and then Siri and Fabio are trying to escape because, one, she can't get caught, and two, people are upset because it was her that basically sparked all this. And then Fabio defends that by saying, no, it was a shoddy cage, and you killed. But now Siri's worried that Fabio's going to grass her, right? She's going to rat her out to Yennefer and the world. So and to escape, she used like this special amulet that Yennefer gave her to change her appearance. Anyway, long story long. Now she's being confronted by two other mages that are looking for girls that I guess escaped or whatever, and they can see right away that Siri's using magic that she's not supposed to, and that's where we left off. How'd we do? That was your Witcher recap.
You mentioned coin. What's your Witcher recap?
Good job. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
All right. This is a historic moment for us, ladies and gentlemen. We've never had to read twice, but I love it. Thank you for your support. Matter of fact, I got to change the category again. Got to do it. Because, again, somebody might be coming along and looking for somebody to read aloud. All right, do me a favor. Toss that coin and we'll keep it going.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty, oh.
Ready? Are you acting dumb, novice? Your name. What is your name? Siri clenched her teeth together, and her eyes flared with a green glow. Anna Ingeborga Klopstock, she muttered brazenly. The woman raised a hand, and Siri immediately realized the full extent of her error. Only once had Yennefer, wearied by Siri's endless complaining, showed her how a paralyzing spell worked. The sensation had been extremely unpleasant. It was the same this time, too. Fabio yelled weakly and lunged towards her. But the fair-haired woman seized him by the collar and held him fast. The boy struggled, but the woman's grip was like iron. Siri couldn't budge an inch either. She felt as though she were slowly becoming rooted to the spot. The dark-haired woman leaned over her and fixed her with her shining eyes.
I do not approve of corporal punishment, she said icily, straightening her cuffs once more. But I'll do my best to have you flogged, novice. Not for disobedience, nor for theft, nor for truancy. Not because you were wearing non-regulation clothing, not for being in the company of a boy, and not even for talking to him about matters you are forbidden to speak of. You will be flogged for not recognizing an arch-mistress. No, shrieked Fabio. Don't harm her, noble lady. I'm a clerk in Mr. Molnar Giancardi's bank, and this young lady is... Shut up, yelled Siri. Shut! The gagging spell was cast quickly and brutally. She tasted blood in her mouth. Well, the fair-haired woman urged Fabio, releasing the boy and tenderly smoothing his ruffled collar. Speak. Who was this haughty young maid? Margarita, Lo, and Till emerged from the pool with a splash, spraying water everywhere. Siri couldn't stop herself looking. She had seen Yennefer naked on several occasions and hadn't imagined anyone that could have a more shapely figure. She was wrong. Even marble statues of goddesses and nymphs would have blushed at the sight of Margarita Loantil undressed. The enchantress took a pail of cold water and poured it over her breasts, swearing lewdly and then shaking herself off. You, girl, she beckoned to Siri. Be so good as to hand me a towel, and please stop being angry with me. Siri snorted quietly, still piqued. When Fabio had revealed who she was, the enchantress had dragged her half the length of the city, making a laughingstock of her. Naturally, the matter was cleared up instantly in Giancardi's bank. The enchantress apologized to Yennefer, asking for their behavior to be excused. They explained that the Aretuza novices had been temporarily moved to Loxia because the school's rooms had been turned into the accommodation for the participants of the Mages' Conclave. Taking advantage of the confusion around the move, several novices had slipped out of Thaned and played truant in the city. Margarita Loantil and Tissia de Vries... I'm sorry, the names are so difficult to say. Margarita Loantil and Tissia de Vries, alarmed by the activation of Siri's amulet, had mistaken her for one of their truants. The enchantresses apologized to Yennefer, but none of them thought of apologizing to Siri. Yennefer, listening to the apologies, simply looked at her, and Siri could feel her ears burning with shame. But it was worse for Fabio. Molnar Giancardi admonished him so severely that the boy had tears in his eyes. Siri felt sorry for him, but was also proud of him. Fabio kept his promise and didn't breathe a word about the waiver. Yennefer, it turned out, knew Tissia and Margarita very well. The enchantresses invited her to the Silver Heron, the best and most expensive inn in Gore-Vilaine, where Tissia de Vries was staying, displaying her trip to the island for reasons known only to herself. Margarita Loantil, who, it turned out, was the rectoress of Aretuza, had accepted the older enchantress's invitation and was temporarily sharing the apartment with her. The inn was truly luxurious. It had its own bathhouse in the cellars, which Margarita and Tissia had hired for their exclusive use, paying extraordinate sums of money for it. Yennefer and Siri, of course, were encouraged to use the bathhouse too. As a result, all of them had been soaking in the pool and perspiring in the steam by turns for several hours, gossiping the entire time. Siri gave the enchantress a towel. Margarita pinched her gently on the cheek. Siri snorted again and dived with a splash into the rosemary-perfumed water of the pool. She swims like a young seal, laughed Margarita, stretching out beside Yennefer on a wooden lounger, and is as shapely as a naiad. Will you give her to me, Yenna? That's why I brought her here. Which class shall I put her in? Does she know the basics? She does, but she can start at the beginning like everyone else. It won't do her any harm. That would be wise, said Tissia de Vry. I don't know how to say these names. Bothers me when I can't pronounce things. I could spell it for y'all, but it's a whole thing. That would be wise, said Tissia, busily correcting the arrangement of cups on the marble tabletop, which was covered in a thin layer of condensation. That would be wise indeed, Yennefer. The girl will find it easier if she begins with the other novices. Siri hauled herself out of the pool and sat on the edge, wringing her hair out and splashing her feet in the water. Yennefer and Margarita gossiped lazily, wiping their faces from time to time with cloths soaked in cold water. Tissia modestly swathed in a sheet. She didn't join the conversation and gave the impression of being utterly absorbed in tidying the objects on the table. My humble apologies, noble ladies, called the innkeeper suddenly, unseen from above. Please forgive my daring to disturb, but an officer wishes to talk to Madame Vries urgently. Apparently, the matter will brook no delay. Margarita Lowentil giggled and winked at Yennefer, upon which they pulled the towels from their hips and assumed exotic and extremely provocative poses. Let the officer enter, shouted Margarita, trying not to laugh. Welcome, we're ready. Children, sighed Tissia de Vry, shaking her head. Cover yourself, Siri. The officer came in, but the enchantress's prank misfired. The officer wasn't embarrassed at the sight of them, and didn't blush, gape, or goggle, because the officer was a woman. A tall, slender woman with a thick, black plate and a sword at her side. Madam, said the woman stiffly, her hauberk clanking as she gave Tissia de Vry a slight bow, I report the execution of your instructions. I would like to ask for permission to return to the garrison. You may, replied Tissia curtly. Thank you for the escort and your help. Have a safe journey. Yennefer sat up on her lounger, looking at the black, gold, and red rosette on the soldier's shoulder. Do I know you? The warrior bowed stiffly and wiped her sweat-covered face. It was hot in the bathhouse, and she was wearing a hauberk and leather tunic. I often used to visit Vengerberg, Madame Yennefer, she said. My name is Ryla. Judging by the rosette, you serve in the King Demivan's special units. Yes, madam. Your rank? Captain. Very good. Margarita Lowentil laughed. I note with pleasure that Demivan's army has finally begun to award commissions to soldiers with balls. May I withdraw? Said the soldier, standing up straight and resting her hand on the hilt of her sword. You may. I sensed hostility in your voice, Yenna, said Margarita a moment later. What do you have against the captain? Yennefer stood up and took 2 goblets from the table. Did you see the posts by the crossroad? Did you see the posts by the crossroads? She asked. You must have seen them. Must have smelled the stench of rotting corpses. Those posts are their idea and work. She and her subordinates from the special units, they're a gang of sadists. There's a war going on, Yennefer. Ryla must have seen her comrades in arms falling, alive, into the squirrel's clutches many times, then hung by their arms from trees and target practice, blinded, castrated, with their feet burnt in campfires. Falca herself wouldn't have been ashamed of the atrocities committed by the Scotia Tale. The methods of the special units are remarkably similar to those of Falca, but that's not the point, Rita. I'm not getting sentimental about the fate of elves, and I know what war is. I know how wars are won, too. They're won by soldiers who fight for their countries and homes with conviction and sacrifice, not by soldiers like her, by mercenaries fighting for money who are unable and unwilling to sacrifice themselves. They don't even know what sacrifice is, and if they do, they'll despise it. To hell with her, her dedication and her contempt. What does it matter to us? Siri, throw something decent on, pop upstairs and fetch us another carafe. I feel like getting drunk today. Tissia DeVry sighed, shaking her head. It didn't escape Margarita's attention. Fortunately, she giggled, we aren't at school any longer. Mistress dear, we can do what we want now. Even in the presence of a future novice? Asked Tissia scathingly. When I was rectoress at Aretusa, we remember, interrupted Yennefer with a smile. And even if we'd prefer to forget, we never will. Go and fetch that carafe, Siri. Upstairs, waiting for the carafe, Siri witnessed the officer depart with her squad of 4 soldiers. She watched their posture, expressions, clothing and arms, in fascination and admiration. Right then, Rayla, the captain with the black plate, was arguing with the innkeeper. What do we think, squad? Hour 53. Again, I really wish that there were stopping points, but there's just not. You want another page or two, or are we calling it? Good stop point. Bang. All right, Young Gun, thank you so much for coming by, man. Hang out, we'll hit you with the outro in just a second. But before we do, got a couple of things to clean up. Firstly, this. It's a little off, but we'll take it. Let's head on back to the live. Chia. You see what I'm saying? Every time we switch a scene, you hear the, it's fine, don't worry about it. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show today. Thank you so much for being here. Gun Army, one time to you, buddy. Tune in next week when you have an opportunity to win again. The movie preview game. Oh, yeah. A&T, he is a 14-time champion. Time to play the game. Let's give it up one time. Time to play the game. So congratulations to him and everyone else for playing. Chucha says, it seems like those transition sounds are appropriate. Is that right? All right. Well, if you dig it, I dig it too. I think it's just an error. Sometimes the OBS lags and things happen. Normally, there's a sound that goes with it. You'll get it in the outro. When I throw it to the end screen in just a second, you'll see the grenade and then it pops. And that's the sound that goes along with it. The Witcher magic, however, is supposed to be different. And it is playing the Witcher sound, but then it's playing the other one. Don't worry about it. All right, we are going to end with the sound bite that we use to close the show. But before we do, I want to say one more time, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a very special day for one of our community members. His name is RUSS. That's right, tomorrow. Shout out to you, Dad. Happy birthday, man. We love you. Hope you have an amazing birthday. You can expect a call from me. Of course you can. So shout out to him. I forgot to change the goddamn category again. That's all right. It's all right. It's just for. I also wish it would work right the first time, but it doesn't. That's cool too. All right. That's it. That's the show. We have the Chapo Report. Matter of fact, Young Gun. Wait for it. Check this little cute guy out, man. I hope you dig him. Look at little Chapo, man. The alligator. He's cool. Young Gun, if you're a subscriber, I don't think you are, man, sadly. No. But if you are, you get cool emotes, and there's a new Chapo animated emoji, so pretty dope. Pretty dope. He says check again. I actually, well, it only says 3 out of 10. So the question becomes 3 out of 10. I don't know. You do have the badge, however. Right on cue. Look at your boy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Far too kind.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gun Army. I so appreciate you, man. So it took a second for things to catch up, but how cool is that? Chucha says she loved the show. Her name is Chucha.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
And that's the new emote. So Gun Army, hit us one time with the Chapo, baby. Come on. Let us know you got it, man. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription. You didn't have to, but you did. And I appreciate you, bro. Gun Army, thank you again.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Look out for that monologue, ladies and gentlemen. We go hard in the paint for that thing, man. And shout out to AeroRising one more time. He did a great job with that. Show your love online. We appreciate you all so much for being here. It's been fun. I look forward to the next episode. Might be next week. I'll see you when I see you. Shadow, you've been lurking pretty heavy this episode, buddy. All right? But I know you're working, man. So this is for you. Ladies and gentlemen.
This was a successful unveiling.
Go back to work. All right? I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Have a great weekend ahead. Happy birthday again, Dad. Love you, man. Aww. This was the show. Thank you all so much. See you in the next one.
Amazing grace. You better pray for me.
Speak to masses and enter the cathedral. I'm on the track like Evil Knievel. Like crooked preachers and priests in preschool. I'm bad, motherfucker. Mike Jack's the sequel. Damn, motherfucker, just crashed the Jeep too. You tipsy in the bitch, dude, chill, you need to. Nah, let's get rich, dog, sit if you need to. Been spitting since the 6th grade, sicker than measles. I seek peace, police, they all wave to me. Blowing on machines in the morning, my job waiting for me. My knees weak, need y'all to pray for me. Committing murder, the candles burning, it's hot as furnace. 50 Cent in my AirPods, say hi to Curtis. Bloody red like a tampon, it's picture perfect. I paint the picture, I spit it with no pen on purpose. Pretty thoughts like pretty pennies, you bitches worthless. 100 bands from OnlyFans, you bitches work it. Don't need a man, a Barbie doll, she's ass-tastic. Your booty looks great, but it's made of plastic. I'm in the game while you standing on the sideline. Bitch, I call plays while you working out the guidelines. I'm all time like a bully playing quarterback. Take the ball from you, selling candy, where your quarters at? I don't know shit about no somersault bricks. Bathing suit look like a gymnast, somersault on my dick. She's crazy into fitness, got a couple of kids. And her boobs is so huge, let you come on the tits. In need of service, need in person, girl, it's really worth it. Give your body the suplex like Mr. Perfect. The 1%er, Sports Center, top 5. Say I'm not the best, that's handicap, bitch, hot fries.